Now, earlier today, I reported on Caitlin Clark coming back to the basketball court. Broke the internet. Guys, we haven't seen Caitlin Clark play basketball probably, I would say July, early July. We're in late to middle December, bro. And I'm telling you right now, well, we're in early December, my bad. I'm telling you right now, it is definitely going to be a sight to see. We ain't wasting.
For the first time since early July, Caitlin Clark sets foot on North Carolina soil in December 2024. The player who smashed all WNBA viewership records went 5 months without playing basketball. You can learn everything about what has been lacking from the response on the internet. Because the reintroduction of basketball isn't the only issue. This concerns whether the most precious asset in women's sports was handled well during her career's longest offseason.
I feel like she has not really been saying a whole lot on social media to kind of help the brand grow, you know, her brand, especially at a time like this. I feel like Caitlin Clark should definitely be tweeting a little more. She should be posting a little more just to kind of get the engagement back with the fans. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. The engagement is not there from the Caitlin Clark fan base. So this is what she put today. So today is Aaliyah Boston birthday. So Aaliyah Boston will be down in North Carolina with Caitlin Clark as well for this whole Team USA situation. Guys, this is big time news. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog.
That observation strikes to the core of a topic that no one is discussing. During her first campaign, Caitlin Clark averaged 19.2 points and 8.4 assists. She doubled the league's previous high by drawing an average of 2.1 million viewers to WNBA broadcasts. Her economic impact on the league and its partners was projected to be $3.4 billion. Additionally, her social media presence has been essentially non-existent during the most pivotal growing time in the history of women's basketball. Take a look at the figure. It had been 2 days since her last Instagram post before the Team USA announcement. Prior to then, there were infrequent updates and little engagement tactics. Compare thanks to her time in college at Iowa, where she was able to comprehend the assignment, daily content, behind-the-scenes access, and ongoing fan interaction. The unrelenting participation created something never seen before. What has changed then? She transitioned from a college sensation who was adept at feeding her fan following to a professional athlete who appeared to distance herself from the exact platform that helped build her brand. Furthermore, that isn't taking place in a vacuum. Someone made that deliberate choice. This is what makes that evaluation intriguing. Just prior to the WNBA draft, Caitlin Clark inked a contract with Excel Sports Management in May 2024. Abby Howe Goldstein, her agent, started out at CAA and gained notoriety by handling well-known athletes. It was obvious what was expected. Increase Caitlin's earning potential, safeguard her reputation, and set her up for long-term success outside of basketball. However, the content strategy changed at some point during that change. The daily interaction vanished. The individual for a player whose whole value proposition is based on accessibility and authenticity, that is a perilous move. The relationship with fans became filtered, corporate, and remote. Consider what Caitlin Clark stands for to her fan group. She is more than just a basketball player. She is the underdog who persevered despite being shoved around throughout her debut campaign. She is the Iowa girl from a tiny town who maintained her modesty even after rising to prominence in women's sports. Fans of hers want more than simply highlights. They desire entry. They wish to experience a sense of participation in the journey. That TikTok featuring Lexi Hull, which was posted on December 5th at 1 p.m., is just what has been lacking. It's absurd. It happens on its own. People are reminded of the reasons they initially fell in love with Caitlin Clark by this type of content. She is genuine, not because she is flawless. Take note of the timing as well. On the day she gets to Team USA training, that content is released. It's not a coincidence. That's someone who has finally realized that a brand this precious cannot be left cold for 5 months. Your off-season is irrelevant to the algorithm. Your fans continue to exist. Due to the fact that your rivals continue to develop their own audiences after the games are over. This is how contemporary athlete branding actually works. Intensity is inferior to consistency. Even with great production value, Posting once every 2 weeks loses out against everyday engagement with mediocre material. Caitlyn's college post was not professionally created since social media prioritizes authenticity and frequency above quality. It was genuine. It never stopped. Additionally, it created a bond that resulted in 18,000 fans attending her practice at Iowa. We now address the issue of infrastructure. For this camp, Team USA Basketball is in charge of the content pipeline. Independent media credentials do not exist. There are no camera-equipped beat reporters. There is no unlimited access for ESPN film crews. There is a bottleneck because everything we see comes from USA Basketball's official social media accounts and media staff. Additionally, bottlenecks can be hazardous while attempting to sustain momentum for the biggest star in women's basketball. Historically, USA Basketball's social media approach has prioritized the team over individual players. They will release roster announcements, game previews, and practice highlights. The kind of personality-driven content that Caitlin Clark's fanbase desires is something they don't usually produce. They won't spend the entire day following her around with a camera. Contentment in life. The spontaneous moments that make her accessible won't be captured. And the reason for this worry is that Caitlin Clark is more than just a player on this team. Casual fans will watch Team USA play exhibition games in April because of her. Everyone in her vicinity is elevated by her presence, but only if they remember her. In the attention economy, 5 months is a long time. Shorter stretches of inactivity cost athletes endorsement deals. Brands adapt to rivals who maintain their relevance. New players are discovered by fans to follow. The assumption that Caitlin Clark's popularity will automatically sustain itself without effort is the kind of thinking that's killed careers. The response to that footage of the arrival is telling. The engagement numbers started to rise within 13 minutes of USA Basketball posting it. Comments poured in. Trending topics related to Caitlin Clark began to surface on X. A 23-second video of her entering a facility heated up the WNBA subreddit. That's not typical. When you finally offer an audience something to react to after starving them of substance, that's what occurs. Her ability to draw is validated, but it's also a danger flag because that amount of desire necessitates nourishment. It cannot remain inactive. Examine how other leagues manage their superstars. The NBA forbids LeBron James vanishes for 5 months without being satisfied. Constant visibility is ensured by his club, sponsors, and the league. Footage of training, off-court activities, family time, and commercial endeavors. The story never ends. This is a lesson that the WNBA is still learning. After decades of battling for attention, they now have a player who simply produces it. However, creating attention and sustaining attention are two distinct abilities. One needs skill. Strategy is needed for the other. This is where things get trickier. The age of Caitlin Clark is 22. She recently concluded the most emotionally and physically taxing period of her life. She had to cope with fan expectations, media controversies, flagrant fouls, and the weight of the league's viewership. She deserved a respite. She should have had some time away from the spotlight, cameras, and microphones, but the business side doesn't give a damn. Return on investment is important to the business side. Additionally, your off-season isn't truly yours when you're the face of a league attempting to land a billion-dollar TV rights agreement. Now, let's discuss what a rebrand in this situation actually entails. The goal is not to alter Caitlin Clark's identity. It has to do with how she is presented, who is in charge of that presentation, and what the long-term plan entails after her playing career. She now represents some of the biggest names in sports at Excel Sports Management. They are aware of appearance fees, media rights, endorsements, and negotiations. They understand how to make the most money possible while an athlete is in their prime. That is worthwhile. That is essential. However, this is what people should know about Caitlin Clark in particular. Accessibility is the foundation of her brand. She loses what made her unique the instant she becomes overly polished, corporate, and controlled. A flawlessly managed Instagram page is not what her fans desire. They want a player who stayed after practice to sign autographs for children in Iowa City, who sobbed after losing in the national championship, and who taunted opponents during games. Authenticity cannot be compromised for professionalism in the rebrand. It must improve the former while incorporating the latter, which is a challenging balance that calls for experts in both contemporary digital engagement and conventional athlete management. Camp for Team USA offers a chance. Caitlin will be surrounded by the top players in the game for the next few weeks. American basketball. Sabrina Ionesco, Breanna Stewart, and Ael Wilson. Veterans who have dealt with media pressure, fan expectations, and the financial side of basketball while serving as the league's face. Additionally, that mentorship serves as a trial run for USA Basketball's handling of Caitlin Clark content. If they are astute, they will see that increasing her prominence is advantageous to all. There will be more eyes on the entire roster if Caitlin is more pleased. Increased interaction on Team USA's social media platforms is the result. It entails raising expectations for global contests with greater stakes. They'll treat her like any other player on the team and ask why, if they're not intelligent. The number of viewers falls short of expectations. Early in 2020, the Fever had to learn this lesson the hard way. Their approach to social media was erratic. They would share game highlights, but they would overlook the moments of personality. While their followers were yelling for Caitlin's particular accent, they would concentrate on team stuff. They needed months to get used to it, and by the time they did, they had already given up on getting engaged. The same learning curve is unaffordable for USA Basketball. With this roster, they have a finite time frame. April will see exhibition games, and in the summer there may be international competitions. They now build toward those moments in every piece of material they produce. Every day that Caitlin Clark's content isn't posted, her followers are getting someone else's basketball fix. The issue with women's basketball fan loyalty is as follows. Instead than being team-driven, it is player-driven. Fans of the WNBA follow players from different teams, leagues, and continents. In Turkey, they will watch Breanna Stewart. The videos of a Wilson's off-season training will be streamed. Regardless of the uniform, they will watch any content that features their favorite players. This indicates that Caitlin Clark's fan base isn't intrinsically devoted to Team USA or the Fever. They are devoted to her. And sustaining that allegiance calls for regular interaction, genuine content, and a plan that honors her fans' want for access, as well as her need for privacy. The upcoming weeks will indicate whether Caitlin is ready to take the lead, whether the USA Basketball media team recognizes the opportunity in front of them, and whether those in charge of her career are aware of that equilibrium. 5 months later, back in the spotlight. Because nobody has said this out loud, there is no guarantee that the WNBA will grow. Caitlin Reese Angel and Clark were the main drivers of the increase in viewership in 2024. Remove them, and the numerical crater. When they weren't playing games, we watched in real time. On average, 440,000 people watched games Fever in the league. Without Caitlin, the number dropped to 380,000. In other words, league expansion cannot be sustained. That is star-driven and star-motivated interest. Star upkeep is required for interest. You can't expect the fascination to last if the stars go dim. Caitlin Clark is not only attending Team USA training when she enters that facility in North Carolina on December 5th. She's checking to see if the surrounding infrastructure has picked up any knowledge during the last 5 months. Does her management team have a content plan that goes beyond posting sporadically and hoping for the best? Whether USA Basketball is aware that they are in charge of the most precious asset in women's sports, not just a training camp. The audience appears to be still present, waiting, and prepared to watch any content that contains Caitlin Clark, based on the engagement on that 23-second arrival video. Is anyone prepared to regularly satiate that appetite? Both strategically and genuinely. Because someone else will if they aren't. That gap will be filled by another league, another player, and another tale. Additionally, holes in the attention economy are short-lived. Whoever persistently shows up enough to claim the space fills them. Caitlin Clark's talent, hard ethic, and capacity to perform under duress, qualities that most athletes never acquire, earned her the title of face of women's basketball. However, keeping that job calls for a distinct set of abilities. It necessitates realizing that brands are either developed or lost during the off-season. That participation on social media is now required. It is essential. that fans who experience neglect eventually cease to be fans. So please leave a comment. Do you believe Caitlin Clark's team has mastered the content strategy, or are they still learning as they go? Because we will find out the solution in the coming weeks. And that response will determine whether she emerges from this Team USA camp stronger than before, or whether the 5 months of silence cost her momentum, which she will attempt to regain during the upcoming season.